What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 4, episode 5, I believe. So we start this episode off. We have Heather talking to, Heather talking to her daughter and telling her daughter about the event and how well the event went with her book. And she's like, I want to thank the people. I want to thank the people who came out to support me. Oh, I'm sorry, season 4, episode 11. I don't know where I got 5 from. Oh, I know where I got. Beverly Hills was 5. This is episode 11. Because they just filmed the reunion. Y'all, they just filmed the reunion, and the seating chart, baby, Monica done made it next to Andy. I said, Monica, you better do that thing. Now, listen, whether you like Monica or not, whether you think Monica's storyline is fugazi or whatever, Monica shook the thing up. Listen, from a production standpoint, Monica was a great addition. Like, this was perfect casting. We talk a lot of times in Housewives when they bring new people in and people who flop and don't make it or whatever. Baby, this was perfect. Monica was perfect casting. And she was able to shake the table, whether you like her or not. But anyway, let's get back to this episode. So Heather said, she wants to thank the ladies who came and the people who came out support. She said her and Lisa are just really in a good place. They're in a good space. And she said, but I want to have a Mormon-based thank you dinner. So it's like a whole Little House on the Prairie type situation she's setting up. Now, I support Heather in her evolution of awareness in religion. I think religion, people's faith, that's people's faith as long as it don't hurt me or hurt other people. You ain't out, your faith don't tell you to go out here and commit no crimes or whatever. But I'm sort of taking a little issue, Heather, with your issue with the Mormon church, but now you want to create a whole lunch, which in my opinion is making fun of the Mormon church. Like, there are still millions of people who are practicing Mormons who don't feel the way you feel. And I feel like some things cross the line into a level of disrespect. Yet, if you were still in the Mormon faith and y'all decided to sort of pick fun at this, I probably wouldn't be like, oh, that's disrespectful, because you're still in the faith. And it's kind of like, remember when our forefathers did this, and this. But because you have made it a business, you're writing books, you're going to write a second book, you have made a business out of outing the Mormon church and talking about what the Mormon church did to you or how it affected your life. I don't know how I feel about you doing this whole Little House on the Prairie. We're going to make fun of, we're going to have it on the anniversary of the founding of the church. I don't know how I feel about that, especially since you still have people that are in your group that are practicing Mormons or have connections to the Mormon church. Maybe not practicing, but have connections to the Mormon church. Anyway, so then we see Monica with her daughter. Prom is coming up, and her daughter was like, Mom, weren't you homecoming? Weren't you prom queen? And she was like, I sure was. And Monica goes and gets her photo albums, and it was so cute when her daughter was like, why you have so many photo albums? And Monica was like, because once upon a time there were these things called cameras, and we had to actually buy film and go get the film developed. And when we got all of these pictures back, we had to do something with them, and we made albums. Because, listen, I got 1 million albums. My parents have 1 million albums. My grandparents, when my grandmother died, child, we had pictures of people we didn't know who these people were. And we literally had to just invite family over and lay pictures out and say, do you know who these people are? And there were some people we never identified. I mean, other than like my grandmother and my grandfather or whatever, but there would be like a group shot of people, and we'd be like, I don't know who none of these people are. So that is, and I'm honestly, that's something that is really becoming an artifact, right? But it was cute. And what Monica said, and I love this, Monica said, I don't have any pictures of my dad. I don't know what this man looks like, because when my dad and my mom broke up, my mom destroyed everything. She burnt all of his pictures. She destroyed everything. Now, I'm sure that in the moment, her mother wasn't thinking, 20 years from now, my daughter might want to know what her father looks like, and I can't show her. I'm sure that whatever happened in the moment, they were just angry, right? Or she was just angry. So Monica said, even though me and your dad aren't together anymore, I wanted to have these for you. And so this was a photo album that was just pictures of Monica and her ex and the daughter And I just thought that was really sweet. I thought that was a really conscious thing that Monica made sure she did for her daughter because she didn't have it. Anyway, so then we see Angie going out to lunch with her husband. And it was awkward as hell because she said, for the past however many years that their daughter has been around, basically they haven't really done anything with just the two of them. It's always their daughter there. So it's almost like they don't even know how to communicate with each other without the daughter being there as a buffer between them. And they really literally were just sitting there kind of looking at each other like, so how's the weather kind of thing. And then they did start to open up a little bit, and again, they're at this stage now where there are things that like she was saying, like you listen to country now. He was like, I always listen to country. She was like, but you didn't listen to country with me in the car. He was like, yeah, but I don't think it should be an issue if I want to listen to country. He was like, you listen to 80s rap. Like, I don't want to hear Ice Ice Baby. And she was like, what's nothing wrong with that song? And I was like, see, that's where you went wrong. Like, he's trying to tell you, this is where I am now. Maybe when y'all were younger, when y'all were dating, he did allow you to control the radio, but he's at a point now where he want to hear his music. He's like, I always listen to country. This isn't new. I just didn't listen to it around you. So when you get in my car, it shouldn't be an issue if I have on. And it seems like such a small thing, but I think it just goes to show how far apart they've actually grown. And so they went on to talk about like really needing to put more effort. She said, at this point, like, I just feel like it's just all business, and, we so focused on moving our business along and our daughter and everything she has going on that we're just not focusing on ourselves. And, so I just thought, listen, they always talk about the reality show curse. I think their marriage was in this place long. I mean, obviously she just started filming last season. And she was only like a friend of last season. So this is clearly not something that's new. But I think if you don't take heed to it, it's going to become a bigger issue, right? So then we have Heather and Lisa. Child, Lisa done tow up her car coming down through Heather's driveway. She done hit a rock. Now, listen, it happens. I ain't even going to go down there. The rock was there, Lisa cut it too quick, and then she hit that Porsche right up on that boulder. And the first thing Heather said was, oh my gosh, because I've been trying to get that thing out of here. So you probably shouldn't have said that. She told me something, I don't even know if my homeowners will cover it. Well, you better cut a check. You better cut a check. And see, Lisa is the type of person, or seems like the type of person that, baby, I would just give her a check before she have a chance to say anything. I would say, well, you know what? I feel so bad because let's be clear, Heather, you have the money. Now, if you ain't had the money, I wouldn't be saying this. I'd be saying, girl, you better take it through your insurance. But Heather, you got the money, okay? Tell Lisa to take that thing down to the Porsche dealership and get you an estimate, okay? And go and cut that girl a check, because if you don't do it, that's going to be her whole storyline next season about how she towed her car up in your driveway, in your rock, and how you didn't even offer to pay, and you didn't do anything. And when she came to you about it, you did. Just go and give that woman that money. Y'all are building up this friendship. Keep it keep it good, keep it smooth, keep it easy breezy. Keep it easy. Anyway. So Heather and Lisa are talking. They're talking about how great things are and how they're so happy they're at this space in their friendship, and how thankful Heather was that, Lisa came and did all of the things that she did, blah, 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 blah. She lets her know that she did that she had a conversation with Monica, and she said, we're in such an early stage in our friendship. I don't want you feeling no kind of way about me talking to Monica or anything like that, so I just want to let you know. She said, and, Monica's from Barbados, and I decided that it would be a great trip for us to go to Barbados. It's Monica's birthday. That's where she's from. And Lisa was like, listen, I appreciate you telling me. And let's be clear, I can go to Barbados and ignore her. Like, I don't have to be her friend. I don't have to be cool with her. Like we can make that happen, So I said, okay, Heather, that was the right way to handle that, because you know how fragile Lisa's ass is. So that was the right way to handle that, Heather, okay? So then we see Heather and Angie, not Heather, Whitney and Angie out at lunch, and basically they're both talking about the state of their marriage. Whitney once again is reminding us that her and her husband's relationship is just not in a good place, because um, you know, she's not a housewife anymore, and she does have businesses, and now that he's back at work, she needs him to give a little bit more than what he was giving before, and he, that's something hard for him to adjust to. And then Angie was like, yeah, because, me and my husband, like, we need to work on this, because we're not just we're not just friends, we're also business partners, and, we got to figure this out. So I thought that was, so there's that. I mean, I don't think either one of their marriages are going to implode during this season, but if either one of them come back next season, I do think that's going to be their storyline. So then we see Meredith and Seth. They are filming or recording their podcast. Y'all really doing this, huh? Y'all really doing this podcast. This is the second episode in a row where we see them filming an episode. Is it out? I'm gonna have to hold on. Is it out yet? What's it called? Hanging by a thread. Is it down to the podcast yet? Let me see. I feel like I'm losing my voice, y'all. Is it down to the... Hold on, let me go to the podcast. Let me see here. Hanging. It's here. Y'all, it's here. Look. Okay. It really exists. So... they're filming, so I'm happy. Listen, I'm gonna have to actually listen to an episode or two, even though Meredith, I like Meredith, but Meredith's voice kind of does it to me sometimes. But I like Meredith. But I'm gonna have to listen to an episode or two. So anyway, so Whitney and her husband were talking. They had Whitney and her husband as guests, and I think they were trying to get the freaky, off the chain pole in my basement Whitney, and I don't think she's that person anymore. I mean, I think underneath that is at the core who she is, but in season 1, Whitney sort of led with that, right? Now, I don't think, I do think she's sort of evolved, even though Whitney irritates my soul. I do feel like she has sort of evolved, right? So, she was talking about, they got to talking about, well, first they were talking about the weirdest place you ever had sex with your mate. Baby Whitney said that she was under her husband's desk and the HR manager walked in his office. I said that is a funny story. I don't know if I would have told it, but that's a funny story. So then, Whitney, they asked about, I forgot the question, but basically it was like, when you've been there for each other. And Whitney starts talking about how she was there for her husband when his father passed away because he couldn't be there. And she was saying how she held his hand and how she was there when he took his last breaths. And she said, because that's what you do for your partner. Like, that's what you do for your mate. And I thought that was a moment. It was definitely a moment. So I was here for it. Okay. So then we get to Heather in this Pilgrim, this Little House on the Prairie party. She has bonnets and aprons for everybody. Everybody shows up, and of course they're all decked out, and they're like, oh my gosh, I gotta put on a bonnet. Oh my gosh, my hair. Oh my goodness. But everybody did it. They were all a good sport. I mean, I'm sure they bitched about it, but they all did it. Then she had these like Little House on the Prairie arts and crafts for them. First they had to make fresh butter. And let me tell you something. When I went to Kenya to visit my cousin, she had a dinner party for us when we were there, because it was me and a couple of my cousins and stuff like that. And baby, she made fresh butter. Baby, that butter was so good. Because first of all, the products are fresh over there, right? Oh my gosh, that was the best butter. It was so good. Anyway, but that's what it reminded me of when I saw them churning that butter. It just reminded me of her making that butter. But anyway, then what else did they make? They made something else, child. I don't even remember. But they made arts and crafts. But they were all in good spirits, and they were all having a good time with it. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, they made handmade dolls, child. They made handmade dolls. And then they got ready to have lunch, which was supposed to be like Mormon food, but they had like mac and cheese, and they did have some stuff that's like a Utah thing, because some of the stuff I didn't know what they were talking about, but the other people knew what they were talking about. Some sort of mash, some type of potatoes or whatever. I don't know. So, of course, it wouldn't be a Bravo moment without a shady ass game. So, Heather's playing this shady game. It says, basically, who gets kicked off the wagon. And she gives this whole story about, we're traveling, but the wagon is too heavy and we got to basically leave somebody. So, who are you kicking off your wagon? Now, of course, we know it's been edited because Lisa said everybody did it. But on this episode, all we saw was Lisa. So they started with Lisa on this episode, the way it was edited. And of course, Lisa said she was going to leave Monica. Who was surprised by that? So Monica gets upset. And Monica and Lisa proceed to argue again about the same shit again. And Lisa brings up, well, one of them bring up the fact that Lisa said something about her mom, and Monica was like, you talked about how I treat my mother. And Lisa was like, yeah, because I feel like, based on what I know, the way you treat your mother was disrespectful. Now, listen, y'all know far be it for me to defend Lisa, but I feel the same way Lisa feel. Everybody don't know y'all history. But if all Lisa saw was, and granted, Whitney tried to tell Lisa, but Lisa don't believe it. People have a right to believe what they want to believe. Lisa was like, I just don't believe that her mother has done anything that bad for her to treat her that way. Again, if you've never dealt with dysfunction, especially coming from a family member, especially a parent, then you don't know what it looks like. I have friends who have had dysfunctional parents. And you would be surprised at the things that happen, things that are said, and things that are done when you're dealing with dysfunction. Now, I'm not saying that the woman is dysfunctional, because I don't know either. I only know what they're telling us and what they're showing us on the show, too. But again, this is what we're talking about. So it proceeds to be this big old argument, and they're going back and forth. They're yelling. They back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Nobody, Monica won't stop. Lisa won't stop. The same thing we saw happen at Whitney's event. Neither one of them will stop. So finally, Angie stands up and throws a glass to get them to shut up. And Monica now is upset and she's crying. And Heather was like, well, girl, we got to tell the people about the trip to Barbados. So she pulls Monica aside and she's like, what is wrong with you? Like, and basically Heather is like, girl, suck it up, Buttercup. Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, this is what we do. You know this is what it is. Girl, if you don't get your shit together, I feel like that's what she was telling her. And Monica was like, you know what? Never mind. Fine. And she said, well, we got to tell everybody about the trip to Barbados. And Monica was like, I'm not going. She said, what the hell you mean you're not going? It's your trip. We're going for your birthday. What do you mean you're not going? And Monica was like, I just feel like, she's yelling at me. And then everybody starts yelling at me. And now I'm the bad guy. For some reason, somehow I'm the bad guy. And what I'm going to say is this. In this argument, I don't feel like either one of y'all were the bad guy. Lisa was playing the game. It was a shady fucking game. But you had to know it was going to be you. You had to know that of everybody at that table, if Lisa was going to leave somebody stranded on the side of the road in the wagon, it was going to be you, Monica. I don't know. Anyway, Monica was very upset. She was crying. And that's pretty much how this episode ended. I don't have a right or wrong in this scenario. I feel like they was just mutual combat. Personally, I feel like it was mutual combat. I feel like Monica and Lisa have both said some nasty things to each other, and it just continues to carry on. It just keeps going on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.